a simple act of kindness. The morning sun was shining bright through the big glass windows of Willowbrook Diner. The blue seats looked golden in the warm light. Outside, cars were already moving on the street. People were starting their normal day. But inside the diner, one woman named Clarissa Hayes would soon learn that this day was not normal at all. In just a little while, she would do something brave that she never knew she could do. This brave act would show the difference between being scared and being kind. It would change between judging people and caring about them. And it would change her life forever. If you think kindness is powerful, if you believe in doing what is right, and if you think people deserve second chances even when others only see their mistakes, please like this video. Share it with your friends, follow Kindness Corner, and write a comment. When you support us, it helps us tell more stories that show the good things that still happen in our world. Clarissa had been working at Willowbrook Diner for almost 6 years. This small diner saved her life after her husband left her. Now she had to take care of her teenage son, Evan, all by herself. Every day was the same for her. She got up early, heard the coffee machine making noise, listened to plates hitting each other, and smelled pancakes cooking in the air. Her daily routine was simple, but she did it with quiet pride. Clarissa was strong not because she did big things, but because she never gave up. She wore her work uniform and felt proud of it. This was true even when her feet hurt and her paycheck was too small to pay all her bills. That morning, a man walked into the diner who made everyone look at him. He seemed heavy and powerful when he moved. He had a long gray beard. His arms were covered with tattoos that told stories most people were afraid to ask about. His leather jacket had patches that showed he was a Hells Angels biker. He walked in a quiet, serious way. He sat down in a booth near the window. His eyes looked like someone who had lived a dangerous life, someone who had been close to both breaking the law and losing his life. Some customers felt uncomfortable and started whispering quietly to each other. Other people looked at the door, not sure if they should stay or leave the diner. But Clarissa just picked up her notepad, put on a polite smile, and walked over to him. She had seen many different kinds of people walk through those doors. Broken men, lost people, dreamers, and wanderers. To her, this man was just another customer who wanted food. She poured his coffee with hands that did not shake and said only, "Here you go," in a gentle voice. For just a moment, his serious face became softer. There was a tiny bit of thankfulness in his eyes. But the peaceful feeling was broken when the diner door opened hard and 2 police officers walked in. Their faces looked tense and suspicious. The whole room became stiff as their heavy boots made loud sounds on the floor. Their eyes found the biker right away. Without waiting, they walked straight toward him. People started whispering through the diner like a cold wind had blown in. Customers leaned closer to their tables, waiting for a fight to start. The biker did not move. He did not argue or speak loudly. He just sat there looking into his coffee cup. It seemed like he was getting ready for trouble that had happened to him too many times before. The officers told him to stand up. Their hands moved close to their belts. Their voices were sharp and mean. The air in the diner became thick and heavy. Fear filled every corner of the room. Customers stopped eating. Forks stopped moving in the air. And then something happened that no one expected. Clarissa, with her shaking hands and small body, stepped between the officers and the man they were ready to take away. Her voice was steady but soft. It carried a strong feeling she did not know she had inside her. She told them the man had done nothing wrong. She said he had just walked in for a cup of coffee like any other customer. She reminded them this was her diner, her workplace. Unless they had legal papers or a real reason, they had no right to bother him here. The diner became completely silent. Surprise showed on the officers' faces. People in the booths started talking quietly to each other. No one had ever seen Clarissa speak up this way, especially not to the police. But she did not move from where she stood. Her eyes were fierce with something deeper than just fighting back. It was caring about another person. She did not see the patches on his jacket or the scars on his arms. She saw the humanity in his tired eyes. After a tense moment that felt very long, the officers looked at each other. They said something quiet under their breath and left the diner. Their heavy steps got quieter as they walked away. Clarissa let out a shaky breath. Her heart was beating so hard she thought it might jump out of her chest. She turned to the biker who was staring at her in shocked silence. For a moment it looked like he might say something, but instead he just nodded once. His eyes were shiny with thankfulness he could not put into words. He finished his coffee quietly, left money on the table, and walked out of the diner. That night, Clarissa thought about what happened over and over in her mind. She wondered if she had made a mistake. She worried that standing up for him might bring trouble to her door. She put Evan to bed, but fear was eating at her heart. She was just a waitress, just a woman trying to survive. But something inside her whispered that what she had done was right, even if it made her unsafe. The next morning, Clarissa came to the diner as the sun was coming up. The air was fresh and smelled like morning dew. She opened the window covers, turned on the lights, and got ready for another day of work. But soon she heard a sound. It was low and steady, and it was getting louder. It was the rumble of motorcycle engines. Not one, not two, but many, many engines. She walked outside with trembling hands. What she saw took her breath away completely. Down the street, like a river of thunder, came a line of motorcycles. They had shining chrome, roaring engines, and leather jackets that gleamed in the sun. One after another, they drove into the diner's parking lot until the entire place was surrounded. 200 bikers got off their motorcycles. Their faces looked rough but serious. They stood in silence. Clarissa's heart raced as the man from yesterday stepped forward. He took off his sunglasses. Now his eyes carried warmth instead of tiredness. He told her in a voice that was both heavy and humble that word of what she did had spread everywhere. She had stood up for him when no one else dared to do it. Because of that, his brothers had come. They came not to cause fear, but to show how thankful they were. The bikers filled the entire diner. Every booth and counter seat was taken. But instead of chaos and trouble, there was laughter, thankfulness, and the sound of friendship. They ordered meals and left big tips. They treated Clarissa with respect that made her want to cry happy tears. Even Evan, who was shy and unsure at first, was welcomed warmly. They ruffled his hair in a playful way and told him stories about roads they had traveled. The diner, which had once been quiet and forgotten, now was full of life and protection. By the end of the day, Clarissa understood something very important. Acts of kindness, no matter how small they seem, can spread out much farther than she ever thought possible. She had protected one man because it was the right thing to do. But in return, an entire community of unexpected friends had come to protect her. For the first time in years, she did not feel alone anymore. She felt seen by others. She felt safe and cared for. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like this video. Follow Kindness Corner and share it with someone who needs to remember that kindness still exists in this world. When you support us, it helps us keep telling stories that inspire people and give them hope.